And between now and Moneybox Live, the afternoon play here on BBC Radio 4. Today, it's a fictional work based on historical events. How Not to Run a Foreign Policy by John Fletcher. 70 years ago, in May 1937, Neville Chamberlain, Britain's powerful Chancellor of the Exchequer, held a meeting with some of his closest political allies.
Gentlemen, earlier this morning, Mr. Baldwin, the Prime Minister, invited me to number 10, where he informed me that he intends to retire. He will support me as his successor. Gentlemen, I do not have to tell you how long we've waited for this moment. For far too long, Britain has lacked firm leadership. For too long, Britain's economy has been muzzled because we did not dare to implement a bold and far-sighted foreign policy. I intend to implement that foreign policy. Once we traded with the world, led the world. Then came complications, European complications. A terrible world war. We are still enthralled to those European complications. I intend to free us from them, pursue a general European settlement which will redress the harshness and injustice of the Versailles Treaty, especially towards the German nation, so that with equity and fairness, bringing peace in Europe, at long last we can return to our natural position in the rest of the world, trading with that world, with our great empire of once more leading that world. Joseph.
Prime Minister?
I've been talking with Anthony Eden, with the Foreign Office more generally. There are complications.
There always are with Anthony.
There's no way I could have excluded him from my cabinet. He's extremely popular with the electorate. He stood up to the dictators.
Which is why he's a problem now.
He, nearly all the full-time officials in the Foreign Office, are extremely opposed to my policy of negotiation. I've tried to talk with him, reason...
What you're saying, Prime Minister, is you need a way around him.
I do.
I could always start a campaign in the press.
No, Joseph, I don't want any leaks or innuendos, smears of the old way of doing politics. We must practice newer, cleaner ways of doing things, ways that don't cause complications.
Prime Minister, you could always send your own private envoy secretly to Mr. Hitler. Get him to explain your plans for a general European settlement.
That might be an idea.
Well, why not Lord Halifax? He's a faithful friend, agrees wholeheartedly with your European agenda. All we have to ensure is that Anthony does not get to hear about it.
Foreign Office Press Officer to Permanent Under-Secretary, Foreign Office. Dear Van, thanks to your clever little private intelligence outfit in Berlin sniffing out Halifax's visit, I've been able to leak news of his lordship's secret rendezvous with the Führer to the diplomatic correspondents of the Manchester Guardian, the Daily Herald, the Yorkshire Post and the News Chronicle. Expect much righteous liberal outrage. In return, we can expect strong counterattacks from those conservative bastions like the Times, the Mail and the Express, whose proprietors are close to Chamberlain. In addition, Joseph Ball will be pouring vitriol into the ear of every journalist he controls, which is many. Numerous references will be made to limp-wristed, treacherous diplomats within the Foreign Office, stabbing their country in the back. Incidentally, I hear that when Lord Halifax stepped down from his Rolls-Royce in Berlin, he mistook Der Führer for a doorman. So much for Downing Street diplomacy. First round to us, in what looks like a protracted contest. As you say, you can only negotiate with dictators from a position of strength. Be reasonable with them, and they'll think you're weak. Hope Anthony isn't too riled up by this stuff and is behaving himself. Faithfully, Rex.
I can't believe the visit was leaked. I've spoken to Anthony, who seems a bit upset by my sending Halifax privately, but he assures me it wasn't him who did the leaking.
Of course, Anthony didn't do this. He's far too much of a Boy Scout. Now, this has the grubby fingerprints of Under-Secretary Van Zittert and that rat-like Australian Rex Leaper all over it. Thankfully, I've been able to put your side in the Conservative press.
But now Adolf's really upset by negotiations being out in the open. He's never been in favour of a free press, so he's refusing to speak with me anymore.
And what we need is a far more secure way of you talking with friendly people on the continent, one that avoids the Foreign Office interfering.
I think the best way of dealing with Adolf is to start talking to Benito, extending the hand of friendship towards Italy. That should make Adolf pretty jealous.
There's a problem there, Prime Minister.
Yes?
Antony again. He made his reputation by standing up to Mussolini over the invasion of Abyssinia, got the League of Nations to impose sanctions on Italy. He doesn't like Mussolini. Mussolini doesn't like him. It's vital you get a safe way of talking with whoever you want to on the continent without the Foreign Office listening in.
How could that be done?
I used to work for MI5, Prime Minister. I've had some experience in recruiting unofficial networks of agents. Shouldn't be too difficult to set up a private, totally secure operation to get your messages in and out of Europe.
That might be an idea. As always, Joseph, I leave matters of this nature entirely up to you. You make the decision. But one thing must be paramount. These communications are vital to the future of our country. They must be 100% secure.
Oh, they'll be secure, Prime Minister. 100% secure.
The train standing at platform 5 is the 11:37 express to Weston-super-Mare, calling at Reading, Swindon, Bath, Bristol, Temple Meads, and Weston-super-Mare.
Oh. Hello there. You look like a large, strong proletarian man. You're looking for a bit of...
No, I'm not looking for a bit of. I'm a copper.
I'm not fussy.
And you're under arrest, you dirty little pervert. You, get in here and sit down.
Thank you, Sergeant. You can leave us.
Sir.
Look, I was simply sitting there, quite innocently, in the conveniences, reading Middlemarch. Here, I have a copy. It's my favourite.
Shut up.
You've been holding me in that cell for 3 days now. You haven't charged me. I'm a man of some connections, you know. I went to Eton and Cambridge.
Shut up, or I'll have the sergeant back in here to knock you around. Now, according to your file...
My file?
You speak several languages. You are a highly paid and very well-regarded BBC producer. I listen to some of your programmes myself. You have a glittering future ahead of you, but have just been arrested for being involved in particularly disgusting and perverted practices in a public toilet. I really don't even like to read the details. As a consequence, you face ruin.
I deny it.
Utter ruin. Unless...
Excuse me, are you offering me some kind of deal?
Your crime will always hang over you. You would face several years in prison. We could prosecute you any time we wanted to. In the meantime, you will work for me. Your work will involve considerable foreign travel and you will be well remunerated. You can keep your job at the BBC.
Who are you?
None of your business. Now, if you'll just sign here, Mr.
Burgess. Guy Burgess.
Yes? What do you want?
I've got a message.
What do you mean you've got a message?
It's from... Red Fox.
Red Fox?
Yes.
Oh, you mean from Joseph Ball, that grubby little man that Neville employs. Give it to me.
Here you are. It's been a long journey here to Rome. I was wondering if there was a possibility of a bed. You'll never guess who my mystery blackmailer turned out to be, Di.
Who?
Joseph Ball.
Joseph who?
Joseph Ball, the most powerful man in Whitehall, Prime Minister's press secretary and backroom thug. Behold the Prime Minister, squeaky clean, ardent to serve our great country, and behind him, Joseph Ball, soiled man of mystery with a Birmingham accent. He blackmails half the homosexuals in London, including me, I'm glad to say, threatens journalists with a sack, intimidates MPs, there isn't a secret he doesn't know, a telephone he hasn't tapped. The man fascinates me.
Your journey to Rome. How was that?
Exquisite service. Premier class throughout. Get to Rome, and who do I find is the old trout I'm meant to be delivering my super-secret message to? Only Chamberlain's widowed sister-in-law. Turns out she and Benito are particular bosom buddies. Why do our decadent upper-class aristocrats spend so much time fawning to tin-pot continental dictators?
The documents you were carrying, did you make copies of them?
Of course. And the ones I carried home from Benito to Neville, had them specially photographed for you and your friends.
Guy, Moscow is very strict about this. Are these the only copies you made?
Darling, as you well know, I have read my marks long and hard through many nights, often at great personal sacrifice.
Ah, those young proletarian men.
Well, I don't see why you should get all of them. Anyhow, despite my exhaustive readings of the good Karl, I've yet to be persuaded that the particular take of comrades Lenin and Stalin on his works are, shall we say, infallible.
Moscow does not like ideological deviation. Who are you sharing these copies with?
Litzy, at Broadcasting House, I produce a programme called The Week in Westminster. There I meet a broad selection of politicians, not all of whom have given up the fight against fascism.
Darling, I was in the midst of the fighting in Vienna against the Austrian fascists, when they used heavy artillery on working-class districts. Half my friends were killed, the other half were tortured to death. I know all about fascism, and the sort of people who fight it.
Well, let's not fall out, darling. Feuds between Marxists are so boring. Not to say incomprehensible.
You've read Signor Mussolini's reply to your letter, Prime Minister?
He's very willing to do business with us, Joseph. Invites me to Rome, where we'll discuss in depth my plans for Europe. There is one slight problem there.
Prime Minister?
Politics, Joseph. If I ask him for something, he wants something back. His country's been pretty much a pariah state ever since their conquest of Abyssinia. A bloody affair. He wants recognition of his country's sovereignty over Abyssinia, a unilateral lifting of the trade sanctions imposed on him after his conquest. And that, of course, leads to difficulties with Antony.
The golden-haired boy.
Signor Mussolini's perfectly aware of the differences between me and Antony. He reads the English papers like everyone else. He takes Eden's position as a personal affront. Says, essentially, that while Eden is my foreign secretary, he cannot do business with me.
Oh, Prime Minister, you must never forget you are Prime Minister, no one else. You command a majority of 250 in the House of Commons. I can start working on Antony's image through the press, get various favoured journalists and editorial writers to drop hints about his constant temper tantrums, the strains within his marriage.
Joseph, you know I don't like hearing about that side of what you do. Our politics must be clean. Besides, at the moment, it's just not politique.
I could go after him on the small, niggly things. Flashy cufflinks he wears, that wretched hat the women columnists are always swooning over.
No, not now. I must be seen to be leading a united cabinet, no disunity.
Prime Minister, as you yourself say, what you plan for Europe, what you plan for the good of your country and the Empire is far too important to allow any one individual to stand in the way of. We've had years of wishy-washiness, havering by the last Prime Minister. We cannot afford any more. Believe me, I wouldn't like doing it any more than anyone else. It's my patriotic duty.
What is it, Joseph?
I could engineer something which would put Eden safely back in his box in the Foreign Office. Get Herr Mussolini begging to invite you on a grand state visit to Rome, and involves no negative publicity whatsoever.
I do so love it out here in the garden of number 10. Is that a white throat singing in the rhododendron?
You and I should get away from London more often, Prime Minister. It's a filthy place.
Yes. High time the two of us went fly fishing again down in Hampshire. Your plan, Joseph?
Quite simple, Prime Minister. You demonstrate clearly before the very eyes of the Italian ambassador that it is you, the Prime Minister, who decides Britain's foreign policy, not Anthony Eden. I think it's time for the exchange of a few more letters.
I really seem to be spending half my life in taxis these days. Completely taxied out. Taxi! Italian embassy, please. Drive in the back entrance.
All right, you are, sir.
Oh, and stop off at a photographer's shop on the way.
I cannot believe this.
Ambassador?
This letter. The British Prime Minister. Did the British Prime Minister write me this letter? Requesting that I officially write him a letter demanding a meeting with himself and his Foreign Secretary at the Foreign Office to explore the future of Anglo-Italian relations? He even offers to write my letter for me. Has he suddenly become my part-time stenographer, my typist? What is going on?
He wishes to humiliate his Foreign Secretary.
Well, you say, but are the English not famed for their treachery, their perfidiousness?
Signor Chamberlain is not clever. Like all men who thinks himself clever, he is stupid.
Ah, it might still be a trap.
Who is there to trap? Not you. You just go to the meeting, and if Signor Chamberlain has suddenly decided he and Mr. Anthony are the best of friends, and they totally reject any sort of rapprochement with Italy, then... But if something else is afoot, he wishes to show you who is the boss, reassure Il Duce, then you can play.
Indeed, Nikolai, I could play. And if I were to play it really elegante, I might even get Chamberlain to force the resignation of our main enemy himself, Anthony Eden.
See,
I have decided. I must appear very offended, spurned. I will see no one. So the Prime Minister's hunger for me increases. So relations between Number 10 and the Foreign Office get even worse. Yes. I think I shall go off to visit Britain's famous lakes and hills. Perhaps even play a little golf.
I didn't know you played golf, Ambassador.
I don't. I despise the game. But for the sake of my country, I must be prepared to attempt such barbaric practices.
Ambassador, do you think we should inform Il Duce of these matters?
Great heavens, no! Politicians should never be allowed anywhere near diplomacy. They are far too stupid.
Foreign Office News Desk to Permanent Under-Secretary, Foreign Office. Dear Van, this whole Italian matter is getting more and more bizarre. If the survival of our civilization were not at stake, I would suspect myself loose in a Marx Brothers film. I keep on expecting Salvador Dali to turn up. What is going on? I mean, I understand that Chamberlain is an idealist. He's determined to make Britain economically great again, and if that means dealing with European fascists, so be it. I agree that inflexible idealists and men with theories are the last people on earth to run our foreign policy, but in the final analysis, I do not believe even Chamberlain is this stupid. I'm afraid behind this whole mad farrago I see the malign, ignorant hand of Joseph Ball, a blind mole of a man, clever enough to ensure good headlines by blackmailing journalists or MPs, artful enough to add tiny decimal points to the popularity of his beloved leader, but when it comes to understanding foreign policy... And you are right, there is nothing we can do about it. Chamberlain sits on top of the largest parliamentary majority in history. He runs his own private government out of Downing Street, ignores Parliament, and sacks any cabinet minister who steps out of line. Accountable to no one, he surrounds himself with sycophants. Thank God your unofficial intelligence channel is still working. I have just leaked to Fleet Street's diplomatic correspondence the news that no matter what the situation, the Italian ambassador will never be allowed to set one single foot inside the Foreign Office. Hope Anthony isn't acting up. Faithfully, Rex Leaper.
Treachery, rank treachery. My own Foreign Office officials.
Yeah, this time Anthony's doing the leaking too.
I'm going to personally order him to attend my meeting with the Italian ambassador. If he won't hold it in the Foreign Office, I'll hold it here, in Downing Street, in the Cabinet Room itself, so the ambassador can be in no doubts whatsoever how seriously I take my undertakings of good relations with Italy. How not even a Foreign Secretary shall stand in my way.
Anthony's not going to like that.
What I am doing cannot be allowed to fail. Thanks to all these newspaper shenanigans, Count Grandy's already in a frightful huff.
Yeah, he's gone to the country to play golf. According to the Times, he's feeling utterly humiliated. The Telegraph describes him as shaken by the impropriety of it all.
Anthony's going to have to learn to be a team player.
Well, perhaps we should move obliquely. Go first for his officials who are causing us all these problems. Van Sittert and Leaper.
What, get the civil service to sack them?
No, more subtle than that. We could kick Van Sittert upstairs, create some big-sounding post for him in the FO with plenty of desk but no power. Keep the actual announcement back till the day Parliament recesses, so no one will notice.
What about Leaper and his disgusting leaks?
Yeah, leave him a while, Prime Minister. See if he picks up the hint when Van Sittert departs and pipes down of his own accord. I should probably start spreading hints about Eden, too.
Why?
Well, just in case he decides to resign. Very quietly emphasise to close press friends his instability, his rocky marriage, the fact that his time in the trenches probably unhinged him a lot.
What a filthy business.
Well, someone has to do it, Prime Minister. It's best in the hands of a friend.
Oh. The sooner we go fishing, the better. Why are you all dressed up in +4s and tweeds?
I'm off to the country for a little golf.
I didn't know golf was your game.
No, it isn't, Prime Minister. I can't stand it. Fishing's my game. But someone's got to reel the Italian ambassador back in.
We're going to play golf?
Yes, get in. It's a fine masculine game, requiring much swinging of clubs and hearty cross-country walking.
But I loathe the countryside. All that greenness with small, furry animals doing unmentionable things to each other. I'm not even dressed for the country.
I've got some tweeds and +4s for you in the boot.
Tweeds and +4s? I'm never going to live this down.
Now, stop whining.
Mr. Ball?
How did you find out my name?
I have many connections. None of them savoury. What's it like working so intimately with the Prime Minister?
Don't you dare suggest anything like that, you filthy little pervert.
I wasn't suggesting anything, but as the producer of the BBC's main political programme, I am naturally interested in all aspects of political life.
People like you shouldn't even be allowed near him. The Prime Minister is clean. A good, good man. Something someone like you wouldn't even start to understand. I know all about people like you. The sort of world you live in. I'm no better. I do terrible things, I twist things. But at least I live in that twilight world so that others, without stain, can live in a world of light, unblemished, to carry out the great matters of state by which, pray God, our dear nation shall survive.
I see, I see.
Yeah, you don't see anything. You just keep doing exactly what I tell you, or I'll squash you flat.
We understand each other, Mr. Ball.
I'm glad to hear it, Mr. Burgess. Okay, this is how you hit the ball. Drive.
What, you mean like this?
Ah, no. You've got to flex your torso. Loosen your shoulders. Like this. Oh. Okay.
You don't have any more idea how to play golf than I do. At least I hit the ball.
Just shut up. This is far too important. We've got to look as though we're playing golf.
Yes, but all the other golfers are staring at us.
Where's the ambassador now?
He and his party are approaching those trees over there.
Right, quick. Let's get over there.
What about my ball? Some of these trees have really sharp edges.
Look, there he is, searching for his ball in the rough. Get over there.
And what?
Make your proposition.
You're expecting me to conduct the foreign policy of the British Empire?
Yes, go on, get on with it.
Excuse me, Mr. Ambassador, but the government of His Majesty is particularly...
Sparisci dalla mia vista, bastardo di un hooligan. Sto gettando la mia pala.
We are particularly keen that you, Mr. Ambassador, agree to meet our Prime Minister...
Va a quel paese, no ancora meglio. Vaffanculo.
Well, what did he tell you?
In essence, that he didn't wish to be followed around Wentworth Golf Course by Foreign Office pretty boys bent on destroying the virility of his beloved Italy.
Still playing hard to get, eh? Now, this time you approach them fully from the front, preventing them driving their golf balls down the fairway until you've spoken to them.
I have no wish to die under a hail of Italian golf balls, even if it is for my country.
Get out there!
Excuse me. Scusi. I say...
What happened this time?
Met by a hail of golf balls and abuse. I was saved only by the fact that the Italians seem to know even less about golf than we do.
All right. This time there must be absolutely no mistake. You will stand over the 18th hole. You will not allow one single golf ball to enter that hole until you have received a positive answer to Mr. Chamberlain's request.
Excuse me, Mr. Ball. I am a senior BBC producer. You are the Prime Minister's closest political aide. We are both persons of some standing. Do you not think that the foreign policy of Great Britain and all her imperial domains might be undertaken with perhaps just a tad more gravitas?
Gravitas be buggered. That meeting must take place.
Welcome to the Cabinet Room, Mr. Ambassador.
Prime Minister?
I'm sure you know the Foreign Secretary, Mr. Anthony Eden.
I have never before had the honor of meeting Mr. Eden, no.
Ah. Anthony, come over here. Shake the Italian ambassador's hand.
How do you do?
It is charming to meet you, Mr. Eden, after all this time.
Perhaps you'd like to sit down, Mr. Ambassador. You sit down too, Anthony. Now, gentlemen, I think it's time I clarified the policy of His Majesty's government towards your country. His Majesty's government intends to grant full recognition of the Italian government's suzerainty over its colony of Abyssinia. In addition, we intend to press at the League of Nations for a full lifting of all the economic sanctions presently applied against Italy. Isn't that so, Anthony?
Yes, Prime Minister, that is so.
I think you can convey that to Senior Mussolini, Ambassador?
Yes, Prime Minister, with the greatest pleasure.
Foreign Office News Desk to Chief Diplomatic Advisor, Foreign Office. Dear Van, still can't get used to your improbable and meaningless new handle. Any rate, to the news. The only news. I still cannot believe that Eden sat through that meeting in Downing Street. The pressure he must have been under. But then you most justly point out that the first principle in diplomacy, in war, in life, is that whatever the circumstance, you never show disunity in the face of the enemy. But that means that the other side of your side, i.e. Chamberlain, unless they show similar maturity and self-restraint, can spout whatever idiocy they like in front of the enemy, and you cannot utter a word in contradiction. And then when that other side of your side, in addition, has no honour and no morality, i.e. Ball, then what the bloody hell's a lady to do? You'll have read all Ball's stuff in the press about Eden's uncontrollable temper. Let me tell you that now is not the best time to try and deny this. I mean, there I am on the phone, trying to deny to some journalist this foul smear against our Foreign Secretary, while right there over my desk is stood said Foreign Secretary, screaming blue murder at me for allowing such lies to appear in the press. If you want my 2 pence, Eden'll be gone within the week. Our side will have suffered yet another defeat. Ignominious defeat. Yours faithfully, Rex.
Let me tell you what happened this afternoon. The Prime Minister held a meeting in the Cabinet Room at number 10 with Count Grandi, the Italian ambassador. It was a great success.
Well, the Foreign Secretary can't have been present.
The Foreign Secretary was present.
What?
Everyone present at the meeting expressed complete agreement over what had been discussed and looked forward to exceedingly cordial future relations between our two countries, with the Prime Minister invited to Italy in the very near future.
Are you expecting me to write in my paper that Eden sat through this entire meeting and at the end of it expressed his delight at the outcome?
Absolutely.
So you deny Anthony Eden is going to resign?
Why would Anthony Eden resign?
Because such an agreement must have included Britain's recognition of Italian sovereignty over Abyssinia, and Britain's agreement to work towards an easing of economic sanctions against Italy, sanctions Eden himself put in place.
Anthony has not indicated in any way he shall resign.
You absolutely guarantee that?
Well, nobody can absolutely guarantee anything. Of course, recently, over the last few months, he has been showing signs of considerable strain.
What do you mean?
Well, it's well known he had a pretty tough time in the trenches. It did lead to certain complications.
And the first I've heard of this, what sort of complications?
None of this must appear in any of your papers.
Of course not.
Mental problems, generally. An inability to control his temper, a certain rashness in decision-making.
So, let me get this straight, Mr. Ball. You are asking me to believe that Anthony Eden, a hero of the British people, suddenly agreed to go along with a whole set of policies he has previously vehemently opposed, and that on top of this, he is in some sort of way mentally unbalanced?
I am telling you what happened.
Sorry, Mr. Ball. My readers will never swallow that.
I think you might find your proprietor disagrees with you. He's a very close friend of Mr. Chamberlain.
But that's as might be, but my proprietor, almost uniquely amongst British proprietors, has a policy of not interfering in what his journalists write. I am not repeating your smears.
Where are you speaking from, Mr. Richards?
What's that got to do with it?
Half an hour ago, you spoke with your wife on the phone and informed her that you were in a Fleet Street pub. I must say that down the line, your surroundings sound rather more intimate than a pub.
What are you saying?
You are a married man, Mr. Richards. You have a wife, Teresa, 3 young children, Terence, Archie and Susan, and the fact that I'm forced to say what I'm about to say because of your moral degradation fills me with disgust. You are presently in a bedsit in Earl's Court in the company of your mistress, aren't you? And you will write that story in tomorrow morning's paper, won't you?
I couldn't believe it, darling. The indignity. The shame I went through on that golf course.
Welcome to the world of capitalist politics.
Well, hang the rich from the lamppost by all means. Raise up the poor and destitute. But I have always loved my country. As I walk around London, I love Nelson's Column, St Paul's Cathedral, the fact that our leader lives in a house and not a palace.
Oh, stop being such a romantic guy.
Yeah, but suddenly you realise that it's all a facade. Behind this magnificent Portland stone, there's just rats. Thousands and thousands of rats, scrabbling and squabbling and squeaking. Not one of them has the slightest dignity or honesty or even understanding of what they're doing.
Sounds like you're ready to sign up for Moscow.
Almost, darling, almost.
All the indications are he's going to resign.
Yeah. Anthony's resignation doesn't trouble me. Your campaign in the press has been superb, if regrettable.
I could go further, much further. Affairs, public rows...
No, you've done enough. If his resignation does come, it means it'll be far less damaging to our standing than it would have been. But there are still problems.
What?
The left-wing press, Manchester Guardian, the News Chronicle, still trying to undermine what I'm doing.
Oh, that's that rat Leaper. I'll step on him.
There's bound to be trouble on the back benches, unfavourable speeches. You see, this is exactly the sort of thing that Adolf complains about. Here we are. I've manoeuvred Benito into being nice to us, offering some sort of deal, so that makes Adolf jealous, and all the signs are he's prepared in the pretty near future to start agreeing to some sort of overall settlement so we can escape from this European nightmare. I mean, who wants another war? Neither of us have strong enough economies to rearm.
Yes.
And just as it looks as though Adolf's about to say yes, start to talk, what happens? Some drunken buffoon like Churchill or a third-rate political hack like Attlee stands up, spouts off stuff about dictators and torture, and Adolf blows a gasket and we're back to square one. Matters are far too important to allow this to happen.
You need to get Benito to give you more than he is.
What do you mean?
Well, you're granting him recognition over Abyssinia, the end of economic sanctions. What are you getting in return?
An overall settlement. A chance to put Britain back again at the top of the world.
No, that's in the future. The public can't grasp that. You need an immediate, tangible benefit, so that when Churchill or Nicholson get up on the backbenches to make trouble, you say, but we got this, this and this, and everyone will cheer.
But what?
OK, what's big at the moment? Spain, the Civil War. Germans and Italian troops there fighting the legally elected government. People are always emoting about that. You get Benito to publicly promise to withdraw his troops. I mean, he'll carry on the war in some other private way, of course, but you'll have been seen to be doing something about it. All your loyal backbenchers will cheer.
But I've already drawn up an understanding with the Italian ambassador.
It's only an understanding. You must write to Il Duce. Inform him that while you are 100% in favour of the understanding reached in London, there are certain addenda to be included before a final and cast-iron agreement can be announced.
You're right. But Eden could resign at any moment. We're going to have to act fast.
Hello?
I need you.
Well, that's very flattering, Mr. Ball, but it's very late at night, and I already have a companion. He's called Bert. He's a lorry driver from Chorley in Lancashire.
I don't want to hear any of that. You're going to Italy, now.
But I don't have any clothes on.
Get dressed. You're booked on the boat train.
Boat train went hours ago.
We're holding it. Especially for you.
You are rather fond of the dramatic gesture, aren't you?
I don't like you. I've never liked you.
No need to turn this into a lover's spat.
Get on that train.
So nice to be back in Italy, Lady Chamberlain.
No.
Travelling through the nighttime streets of Rome in the luxury of your Rolls-Royce.
Have you got the letter for Benito?
Safe and sound.
I'll post it through his back door, as I usually do.
Oh. That all this operation involves?
What did you expect? Black cloaks and exploding bow ties?
Lady Chamberlain, the young chauffeur you have in the front driving us, he seems very nice. What did you say his name was again?
Giovanni. And he's all mine. You heard the news. Eden's resigned.
I don't think I can bear this anymore.
Darling?
The rank stupidity. Ball and Chamberlain, certain they're doing the right, the clever thing, getting the dictators to do what they want while all the time the fascists are laughing behind their backs at them. I mean, look what was achieved by my latest trip to Italy. Chamberlain thinks she's got an agreement with Mussolini and promised to lift the sanctions. In exchange, Mussolini reluctantly agrees to withdraw Italian troops from Spain. What happens? Mussolini withdraws a few of his troops, but immediately gets his submarines to start sinking British merchantmen resupplying the Republican government. And they don't see it. Who could be sinking our ship? I don't have an idea. And even those who claim to nominally oppose this madness haven't spine. Churchill hears of Eden's resignation, promptly retires to bed with 2 bottles of brandy. Nicholson hears and is sick down the lavatory. That's our opposition.
I see you are starting to face the inherent contradictions of your theoretical position.
Darling, I have made a decision. I'm throwing this all over. I'm joining the party. I'm moving to Moscow, where I shall do something useful and productive, like drive a tractor or work down a coal mine.
Somehow I can't see that, darling.
Oh, yes, you will. You'll see. And when it comes to that time, and we all know it is coming, when it's necessary to fight fascism, improbable as it might seem, I'll be right in the front trench bearing my bayonet. What's the matter, darling? Isn't there at least a smidgen of rejoicing when the prodigal son decides to join the party?
Oh, I'll take you somewhere nice and private and get you to sign on the dotted line, all right. But I'm afraid on all this I'm going to Moscow to drive a tram stuff, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
Why?
Well, naturally, your case has already been widely discussed in Moscow, at levels far above anything I might influence. And I'm afraid the party has ruled. No Moscow tram driving for you. You're to stay here in London.
Oh.
Worse, you are to stay in precisely the position you are now in, doing exactly the work you are currently doing.
Why?
The Politburo loves the insights you're getting into the truthful side of capitalist politics and their real relations with the fascists. You also have a longer-term mission.
What?
To penetrate the British establishment.
Well, I suppose there's one thing to be said for working with a professional like Ball. However much he might disgust you, there's a hell of a lot you can learn from him.
Foreign Office News Desk to Chief Diplomatic Advisor, Foreign Office. Dear Van, well, we've been defeated. Not the first time. We've already had to yield the Ruhr, Abyssinia, and Spain to the fascists. Now Eden resigns, and the fools in Downing Street rejoice. You ask me how I feel. A cold anger at the stupidity of it all, at the awful miscalculations being made. Feelings of useless despair return again and again, intrude into all things. That's the worst of defeat. It divides you from your friends. You start to see them as fools, incompetent. I mean, I'm a professional press officer. I try to present in a positive light the likes of Winston Churchill, drunken has-been who thinks with his mouth, Harold Nicholson, flamboyant homosexual who just happens to be married to a lesbian, the brave Socialist Labour Party so in love with stabbing each other in the back they never think of organising a united front. These are the men who are going to lead us against Hitler. Sorry to sound womanish. As you say, we must learn to live with defeat while keeping our minds sharp and powder dry. Faithfully, Rex.
Oh, here, Prime Minister. Cast like this. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
You see? You've got to cast into the stream's cheek.
Yeah.
It's stuck in the current where the trout rests.
Yes. There.
That's better. Now, make it dance on the surface.
What do you mean?
Well, you see? You've got to present your fake fly on the surface as a freshly hatched real fly to fool the trout. It's all a matter of illusion.
I feel so calm here in Hampshire, away from London.
Yeah, but we fought for what is right, and as a result we've moved closer to our goals.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be damn difficult. Already, as I calculated, making friends with the Italians has got Hitler interested in doing business again, but it will require great delicacy.
Of course.
Germany has every right to parts of Eastern Europe. They were stolen from her at Versailles. Everyone recognizes that. But Mr. Hitler is a peppery fellow. And the last thing we need as we approach delicate negotiations on the autonomy of Austria, the Czech Sudetenland, are harsh, dissonant voices here at home.
I'm taking care of them.
The margin between victory and disaster is so thin. A European settlement, and we shall have peace, as we did all through Victoria's reign. Britain trading with the whole world. Britain once more on top of that world. But if we fail...
We shall not fail.
In How Not to Run a Foreign Policy by John Fletcher, Neville Chamberlain was played by Clive Merrison, Joseph Ball by Michael Fenton Stevens, and Guy Burgess by Lawrence Fox. Richard Delane was Anthony Eden and Rex Leaper, Patience Tomlinson, Lady Chamberlain and Litzy. David Holt was Count Grandy and the reporter. How Not to Run a Foreign Policy was directed by Julian May